Hello everyone, this is Trigger of course, and today I'm bringing you another update video. It's been quite some time since I've uploaded. I thought I would go ahead and cover the new Fallout server that I'm making. This Fallout server is going to be called Fallout Minecraft FALLZ. It's an extension of my old server FALLZ. And when I say that, I mean basically it's a port of FALLZ to a new and updated, more Fallout-y version. So we're going to go ahead and cover the things in the new FALLZ, or Fallout Minecraft FALLZ, which is FALLZ, or FALLZ, so whatever you want to call it. I decided it was a time to give an update video since I've just been working on it for quite some time. So, basically, what's currently going to be in the new FALLZ is, we ported a lot of the features from the old FALLZ, so we'll go ahead and talk about that right now. So, some of the basic stuff that's in is medical items, bleeding, infections, leg breaking, all of that's in the game. Obviously, your thirst and everything else is in there too, so we'll talk about all that later. And then, so the next system we're going to talk about here is, you can see in the bottom left here, we're getting spammed with your stamina. So, your stamina, let's go and drink some water, stop that message from coming in there. So, your stamina basically is a huge addition to the FALLZ world. It's really going to change how combat works with basically everything. So, when you can generate stamina by sprinting, jumping, climbing ladders, attacking zombies or other entities, that will generate stamina for you. You don't want to generate stamina, because when you get to a level of stamina of 75 out of 100, you're gonna experience fatigue, and fatigue gives you slowness 3. So when you get fatigue, you won't be able to sprint for anything. So it really sucks. Now the way to counteract this is to really pay very close attention to your Pay very close attention to when you're sprinting and when you're jumping. Moderate your stamina. Don't always sprint. Don't always sprint to jump, especially because, yeah, you're going to go a little faster, but look how much stamina you're generating now. That's so much more than you would just generate just from sprinting. And I'll demonstrate fatigue right here. So as you can see, I got slowness 3 because my stamina was just over 75. So yeah, it's pretty important. Make sure you pay attention to that. Now, another important feature to talk about, in case you didn't like this stamina system, was the RPG system. The RPG system is completely different than our old class system in FALLZ. We changed, obviously, instead of having classes where you picked a unique class, now you just build your own character from an RPG set. And in order to do this, you can just do /special. This command might change later on as well. But in this menu here, you're going to be able to see your available special points to spend, and then all the other 7 base attributes. Every time you level up, you're going to get 2 special points, and then those special points you can spend in any one of these categories. So we'll go ahead and cover the categories real quick. So to start, you have Strength, which represents your ability to deal damage and carry items. I think it sounds pretty self-explanatory in what it does. When I say deal damage, though, it does mean physical damage, so not with guns and projectiles. The next one is your Perception, which is your ability to deal more damage with projectiles, like guns and bows. The guns part isn't currently in, but it's going to be, and it's not a very difficult thing to implement. And then the next thing to mention is, the next perk, obviously, is your Endurance, which represents your ability to take less damage from projectiles and swords. The reason why this does this is because this is actually counteracts both Perception and Strength. So the combat basically is going to be it's going to be elongated, so you're actually going to be fighting people a little longer. Of course, if they don't have any endurance stats, then you're going to kind of balance out, but that's not entirely true, because your Endurance, you will actually gain more stats from Endurance than you would from Perception or Strength regarding the damage buffs. Strength, you're not going to get as much from that stuff because we want to, like I said, elongate battles with players, so having a higher Endurance is going to reduce a lot of damage, so that means it's generally better than those 2 stats, but both of those other stats also have their own additional stuff they do, like Strength also lets you carry more items as you level it up. So, and Endurance purely reduces damage. It doesn't have any extra things. The next one is Charisma, which is going to affect your ability to buy and sell items. This is currently not implemented. It's going to be hooked into the economy system probably shortly after the server's up, or depending on how well the plugin development goes, it'll be up when the server comes up, of course. But yeah, Charisma will essentially reduce how much items cost for you to buy, and it'll increase the value for you selling them. So yeah, that's that. Your intelligence represents your ability to learn. When I say learn, I mean anytime you kill a mob, you gain experience. The higher your intelligence, the more experience you gain. Also, when you level up, like as I mentioned, you get 2 special points. Well, the higher your intelligence, the more points you get. So let's say every 5 levels, you get an additional point. At when you go from level 4 to level 5, you're going to get 3 special points to spend. So that's a pretty big deal. And then next up is your agility, which represents your ability to perform more actions. And when I say perform more actions, I mean sprinting, jumping, climbing up ladders, any of that stuff, and attacking entities, stuff like that. That is what increases fatigue. So it represents your ability to do more actions, which means that every time you sprint, or when you start sprinting and do stuff here, you see your stamina goes up, and it naturally decays by 5. So if you increase your agility, it'll decay faster. So it could increase at a maximum of I believe, about 10. And then it also will reduce how much stamina you generate. So you can see I went to 10 there just from sprinting and starting the sprint and everything like that. So instead of generating 5 stamina for just sprinting, I'm only going to generate 1 stamina for sprinting, or any other action for that matter if my agility is high enough. So that is how you would counteract the stamina system, and you could really have a huge advantage if you were to use that. If you were more of a scavenger type of player in Fallout Minecraft FALLZ, then you would want to have a high stamina, probably with a little strength for some extra carrying weight, but this way you could basically just run away from anyone else you encounter, and that's because they're not really going to have a high agility, because their agility is just their characters are going to be more based off of other things, like maybe killing other players or killing other mobs. So in that case, that they're going to have a higher strength rather than a higher agility, which means you could easily outrun them. Okay, and so the next stat is your luck, which your luck represents your ability to have things go your way. And when I say your way, I mean whenever you fall and you have the chance to break your leg, instead of just breaking your leg, now you get a chance to not break your leg. So that's huge. That's a huge difference. Same thing that applies to bleeding. So every time you get hit by a zombie, it's a 10% chance to bleed. There's a chance that you could not bleed now. The same thing with antibiotics. There's a chance that the same thing with infection. There's a chance that when you get hit by a zombie, you won't get infected. The higher your luck is, the higher that chance, or the lower that chance of getting infected becomes. So luck is plays a huge role in Fallout Minecraft FALLZ. And now the next thing to talk about, which isn't implemented, which is the system I'm currently working on, you're going to be able to open up a custom menu like this to see all of your current perks. And what perks are, every time you level up, or every other level, you're going to get a perk point. You could spend 1 perk point every other level on a perk. Now, perks have some requirements. Sometimes there will be perks that have absolutely no requirements. They require 1 of everything, basically. So there's no requirement, because you start off with 1 of everything. Then in other cases, there'll be some where it requires you to be a certain level. So let's say you have to be level 10, and you have to have 5 intelligence, and you have to have 5 luck. And then you can actually get that perk. And now perks are going to be things that let you essentially cheat in game. They're things that you couldn't normally do as just a normal player. And there will of course be perks that just give you static buffs of plus 10 intelligence and plus whatever. That stuff is that's boring perks. Those are boring perks. That's not going to be the majority of the perks. The majority of the perks I want to be interesting things. So let's say there's a perk that requires you to be level 5, and if your agility is let's say level 10, and your agility is level 5, and your endurance is level 5. Then, when you're sprinting and jumping, if you were to jump and you were to come very close to hitting a block, like this block right here, if you were just right here, but within that time you jumped, and then if you timed it correctly, instead of falling, you would actually get teleported above the block right here. And that would essentially be called the perk Ledge Grab. So you could grab onto ledges if you timed it up correctly. And that would be a huge difference in gameplay for any player. It's not a huge gameplay changing thing, but it could be huge. And what that could mean is that combat is different, escaping from zombies is different, looting special areas is more going to be frequent for someone with a high agility or with that perk. So yeah, the implications of perks are huge, and basically what you're going to do to see perks is it's going to be in a menu like this. Every perk you have will populate this area, and you'll be able to hover over them and see what they do. So yeah, that's pretty much it for now, guys. Thank you for watching. I hope I see your comments and stuff. I haven't uploaded in a while, so please let me know if you want me to keep uploading. I look forward to seeing your comments and stuff, hopefully on the new Fallout Minecraft FALLZ forum thread. That link will be in the description below. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. As usual, please rate and subscribe, and I hope to see y'all later. Bye-bye.